What's up, guys? Welcome to CESYK Live. I'm Rocky France, your host. Tonight we're going to have on Anthony Harvey, the owner and founder of a new app called GIGMI. This app, in my mind, is genius. Being a business owner, being a foreman, being a worker, being a finisher myself, all the above, this is an excellent app. It's going to help guys find work. It's going to help employers find employees. It's just a great app. I'm going to give a couple minutes here to get some guys tuned in. We're going to see if Anthony tunes in here so we can get him. He's going to come on and talk all about his app. We can do a question answer kind of thing. You guys got questions for Anthony, he'll answer them. We'll tell you how to log on and download the app, and it's just an awesome thing. So stay tuned, hang around here, see if we can get Anthony in here. As soon as he gets on, we'll bring him aboard. Give us a few seconds, just bear with us. Let's step away for just a second. We're going to give Anthony a couple seconds to get in here, and we are going to get this going. Okay. Mr. Anthony Harvey, if you've tuned in yet, send me a request to come aboard so we can get you on camera here. Again, kind of bear with us here, guys. Give some more time for some people to tune in. How's the weather for you guys? Today was a nasty, wet, rainy, snow kind of go. We're getting some feedback there. Kind of a nasty day for us today, but we stuck through it. What's up, Sammy Duran? You guys are in here. You're tuning in. Shout out your state, your company if you'd like. I see you in there, Pop. My old man bragging about being 80 degrees down in Florida. We're up here in Indiana. I'm north central Indiana, and it's been miserable the past couple of days. But we found stuff to stay busy, so you can't complain too much. Mr. Anthony Harvey, when you sign in here, go ahead and comment. That way I can bring you on board. What's going on, Dave? 86 down there in Florida, huh? Man, I'm jealous. I miss that Florida weather. That's all I can say. There we go. There's Anthony. We'll see if we can bring him on real quick. All right, give me a second here, guys. I'm going to get Anthony aboard. Anthony, I'm sending you a request. Accept that. And we'll see if we can get you in. What's up, Chris? Mr. Chris Staley in the house. Owner of Lexel Contracting. And here it is, Anthony Harvey, the owner and founder of the new an awesome app, GIGMI. How are you, Anthony?
Good. How you doing, boss?
I'm doing good, my friend, doing good. So first off, let's give a little bit of background on who you are and where you come from. So before we get into this whole app thing, people know who you are before, they don't think you're just some salesman. They know that you've been in the trenches like the rest of us.
Well, my name's Anthony Harvey. I'm originally from New Mexico, but I've been in northern Colorado for the last 20 years. I do decorative concrete. That's my specialty. Outdoor kitchens, patios, pool decks, whatever. I'll fill an ice cube tray up with concrete if the if the money's right. So we're out there. We do it all. That's our specialty, outdoor living. We kind of found our niche out here in Colorado, and we love it. And there's no end in sight. We do the polished concrete and the epoxy coatings and over anything with decorative stuff. I have years of experience, and we have a great team out there installing for everybody. So it's a good thing.
Awesome. So how many people do you employ currently?
Well, I have approximately like 2 or 3 guys that are with me full time. I mean, I wouldn't even call them employees, because a long time ago I kind of learned, it's hard to keep, good employees. 20, 30 bucks an hour is just not enough, so I took these guys, the cream of the crop, and I kind of molded them, and I showed them my niche, and I gave them the opportunity to, eat steak also, every night, and that's how I kind of developed, my GIGMI idea, and I like to keep everybody happy, and, we get big jobs ready, and when we're ready to pour, we bring in concrete finishers to help us do that, but I have like 3 people that are really, they're like full-time subs, they don't take any other jobs but mine, so I mean, I guess you could call it that, so that's what we do there.
Right. And that's a pattern that I'm seeing a lot of contractors go to, where they keep just a few core guys and they keep them busy and keep them working. And then when they get these bigger jobs and whatever, they're looking to fill a spot just for a day or maybe 2 or maybe 3. And that's why I think what you've created is such an amazing idea, because it's going to make that totally possible, right?
Right. Yes, it very much is. So, Rocky, like the big thing that I was having, is I was doing these big concrete jobs, and I was bringing in day laborers. I don't want to call them laborers. They're more like freelancers, because these are skilled tradesmen that know what they're doing. So we bring them into the job. I'd have to call them up and find them. There was really no organization to it. You had to know somebody that knew somebody. You were kind of at their mercy per se, but I have a big group of them now that I have, they're calling me because they all want to learn how to stamp concrete and stuff. So they're always, looking for work with us. But, at the end of the day, you'd have to come stop and write them a check. You'd have to get all their new paper hire work. You'd have to get a W-9. You'd have to get cash. The big thing is you'd have to stop. And it was just really an unorganized, unorthodox way of doing things, and that's where I kind of got my idea from, and I started asking around, and I seen other contractors in the same position, same boat. And that's where I came up with the idea for GIGMI, gig as in like a job and me as in a person, but we use an I, just to kind of give it like its own name, kind of like Uber and, all them weird names like, YouTube and stuff. So what it is, it's a social media with a purpose. It's kind of like Facebook and Instagram. You could download the app for free as a contractor or as a tradesman. So I'm going to kind of give you like a quick little rundown. So like, say I downloaded the app as a tradesman, I could create my profile, Anthony Harvey, concrete finisher, Loveland, Colorado. I charge $500 for the day. I could put videos, I could put pictures, I could write a little bio on there and just kind of explain, my different specialties, hard shell finish, curb and gutter, stamping, whatever, all of that nice stuff on there, and then the beautiful thing is you hook your bank account up to the app so you could get paid, and then you fill out a W-9 for tax purposes. And on the app, you have your own little dashboard that shows how much you made. You could edit your pictures, your videos and whatnot. And now you're a fully vetted tradesman up on the app, ready for hire. So the same thing with the contractor. He could download the app and create a profile. They hook their bank account up to the app so that they could pay. They could put videos, they could put pictures, they could post on the job board. They're looking for guys, or they could just kind of, GIGMI surf, look through the app and see people that they might want to look for, drywall finishers. It's not specifically only for concrete. This is for any kind of trade out there. You know, window washers, electricians, welders, plumbers, rocket scientists. You know, if Hulk Hogan wants to put a profile on there and put himself, for up, up for a gig, I mean, it's for anybody, and it kind of takes the middleman out of there. So, say a contractor, say Rocky France finds me on the app. He needs a concrete finisher for next Friday at 8 o'clock. He could message me and say, "Yo, Anthony, I got a concrete pour next Friday. It's 15 yards of colored concrete. We're gonna do a seamless texture stamp. Can you bring your stamps also? I want to rent those from you also." And we could kind of message and create a contract on the app. You actually put the address where it's at. You tell me how much the fee is, or I tell you how much I want to get. We pre-negotiate that within the app, and you send me a contract. Upon me accepting that contract, just say it's for $500. At that moment, the money is pulled from your account and it goes into a trust account. So there is a $50 transaction fee, but what that does is $550 pulls out of your account, sits in the trust account. I show up Friday morning to do the pour. Upon completion, I take a picture of the job and I send that to you, and that kind of cues you to begin the payment process. That moment you give me a rating and you push the money right to my account. No check cashing, no nothing. At the end of the year, as a contractor, you have one legitimate write-off with GIGMI, and GIGMI actually 1099s all the tradesmen after that point. So, I mean, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it could work in so many different ways, and that's just the basis of it.
Perfect. So I like the idea that you can rate, you can rate an employee, you can rate an employer. So people know that when they're trying to choose a worker or even a company to work for, that other people have done this or worked with that particular person or company before, and you can see the rating that they've done. Really like that. Yep.
And the good thing is, before the tradesman accepts the money from the contractor, he rates the contractor also. So I mean, it's a beautiful thing. So it's a two-way avenue. Both people get to rate both of each other on there. Yep. And a lot of the guys that I'm using now, we've already gone live like about a week ago with the app. There's some still bugs in there we're working out and stuff, but all the guys that are doing finishing for me and coming on as tradesmen for the day or doing a gig, I'm requiring them to download the app, for the rest of their payments. I mean, so what that does for them is they get paid instantly, but that opens them up to a whole other audience of people that might be looking for their services also. So it's a beautiful thing on there.
So Mike Griffin asked a good question here. Can you give feedback along with the rating? Is there an option for that?
Yes, you get feedback.
Awesome.
The option of the rating, and it goes both ways with the contractor also. So I mean, that's a beautiful thing. And what a lot of guys don't understand, Rocky, is like if you're getting up in the morning, you got your pickup truck that you're making payments on, you're putting fuel in that, you're paying insurance, you're buying tools, and you're driving just to an hourly job. I mean, you're not really an employee anymore. You're like a small business, and people need to start getting awarded, for their skill set that they spent years, forming and getting. I mean, it's like nowadays, $25, $30 an hour just don't cut it, even $50 an hour. I mean, you gotta go in there and get the bang for your skill set. I mean, 'cause it's tough, nowadays to make money, and that's what we really want to concentrate on. I'm a tradesman and I'm a contractor, so I'm on both sides. As a contractor, sometimes I almost feel like a bad guy. Like, hey man, before I can write you a check, you got to fill all this out. I need a copy of your ID. I mean, the song and dance, Yep. And the same way as a tradesman, like you just want to get paid. I got my kids' birthdays tomorrow. That's the only reason I'm here, so we're trying to, help individuals out with that. We want to take all that funny stuff out of the loop. We want the contractor just to be able to, we've already pre-negotiated, get it done, get paid. And the same thing with the tradesman. We're trying to make it all simple so you can get onto the app and find a pool of pre-vetted. And what we mean by pre-vetted is they've already hooked up their bank account, they've already filled out a W-9, and the contractor at the end of the day, he just has one legitimate expense with GIGMI at the end of the year.
Yep. So I know one of the big things that's involved when you're hiring a guy on for day labor and such is the 1099 deal. This really helped with that from what we've talked about previously, correct?
Yes. You know, because we've already collected all their information, you know, and we do a TIN verification, you know, the app does, to make sure that this person is at that address. That's really their bank account, their social, or their ITIN number, their EIN. So, I mean, it's kind of hard, you know, for them to falsify information, you know, but I mean, you know, it happens, you know what I mean? I can't say it doesn't, but, you know, we take that very serious over here at GIGMI. And, you know, the beautiful thing is our bank that we collect all our money goes into a trust account. You know, we don't ever see the account numbers or the routing numbers for either party. I mean, that's a third party secure, you know, stuff as far as that goes. And
Awesome.
it's beautiful, Rocky, because, you know, even though we charge that $50 transaction fee, that's what it will always be. You know what I mean? You could be paying me $100,000 to go pave a parking lot. It's still going to be that same fee. We're not going to come at you sideways and be like, hey, man, we got to charge you a percentage. It's always the same fee. We don't want any of the tradesmen's money. We don't want any of the contractors' money, but we are a business also. We got to make money to keep this, you know, this platform going. That's why we do charge a transaction fee. What we're going to be offering here in the next couple of weeks is we're going to be offering a subscription fee where a contractor can pay $1,000 for the year and he gets unlimited uses for $25 a pop. I mean, that's a big savings. And I think it's worth it because both parties, the contractor and the tradesman, kind of become more negotiable. Be like, hey man, you want $500? How about you absorb the fee, the $25, or, you know, or whatever, you know, if it's a big job, you know, $4,000 or $5,000, I'm sure that the guy that's on the receiving end will absorb the, you know, the $25 or $50 fee. So, I mean, there's all sorts of different avenues for this to work beneficially for both parties. The big thing is it kind of relieves the contractor at the end of the year, especially if he's using a lot of freelancers, to not have to do all that accounting or December 31st, trying to get 1099s out and getting people's info and trying to chase them down. That really saves a lot of that from them, from having to do that. It's not fun. You know, it's not fun. You know, some guys just want to get out there and create and do their thing and make money, you know, and like, you know, the hard part, you know, the government part, it's pretty tough. And that's where I want to lend my hand and help everybody. That's like my gift to everybody, you know, especially if you're a small business, you don't know what's going on. I mean, you could have a heart attack when you go do your taxes for the first time, you know, so.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got to ask a question totally off topic. It's one of those things between me and AJ. When you go to get a slab ready, are you forming it or are you framing it?
Leo's prepping it.
Leo the Gemini.
Leo the Gemini, he's out there prepping it.
That's one of those age-old battles there. AJ's stuck on the framing it. I always say forming it, and it's one of those arguments we always get into. Just totally off topic.
I always say, you know, on all my contracts to be, you know, fair, you know, form the job per homeowner specification. So we're always saying forming and stuff. So, I mean, that's where I'm at with that, you know.
There you go, AJ. Anthony says forming.
But that's where we are with that, you know. And, you know, we just do so much. You know, there's some weeks where you'll just see us pouring job after job after job, and then, you know, you won't see us post anything. So we're building all the outdoor kitchens and the pergolas and all that good stuff, you know. But yeah, forming, that's what I usually say.
Okay, back to the app now that we got the important questions out of the way.
Just have a question, and they're asking if any business and any individual can create a profile.
Okay, so there's a question on there that any business or any individual could create a profile. And the answer is yes. You know, whatever your business is, you could create a profile. And here's the beauty behind this, Rocky. Like on my profile, I have it for contractor and tradesman. So I could switch back and forth. You know, so you could have both profiles, contractor, you know, payee and payer. So, I mean, there's both ways that you could set that up. So you just have two separate profiles. So you have your bank linked so you could pay, and you have your bank linked so you could be paid. So, I mean, it's for any business out there, whatever you could think of. And I mean, there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to find avenues and make this work for them specifically. Like myself, I have 3 guys that are with me all the time. Leo the Gemini, I got Lalo, and I got my son Patrick. You know, and they're off doing their own little things. And, you know, we bring in a lot of people to help us, you know, when the time is right to do these big projects, you know. And this is going to help a lot of guys because you could grow your company without long-term commitment. You don't got to stay up all night and being like, oh, I got to keep these guys busy all week. That big job don't start till next week. And the big job I did last 2 weeks, you're wasting all those profits, you know, trying to just keep these guys busy around the shop. I mean, even though you don't really need them to do anything there or whatever. Well, I mean, you know how that goes, you know, so you can always, I mean, it's a benefit for the contractor, especially when you find the tradesman that you want to use all the time and that you can use all the time. And, you know, you get to cherry pick them. And the same thing with the tradesmen that are out there, they get to cherry pick the guys they get to work for. Oh, that's Anthony Harvey. I charge him $500. He pays every time. I've learned a lot about stamping. I'll be there, you know, and they might even be able to book it right. You know, do a pour at 5 in the morning, one at 12, you know, do a double banger, make $1,000, maybe just Monday and Tuesday, and take the rest of the week off and go golfing or hunting or whatever they want to do, you know. And I keep on saying concrete, but I mean, this is for anything. You know, you might go to Arkansas to do a job and take, you know, instead of taking 10 guys and having to pay for all their hotel rooms and per diem and all this stuff, you could take 2 of your best guys, go out there, get it prepped, and look up some local finishers and put them to work. Bada bing, bada bang, you're done, you know, and you don't have to hear anybody crying that they're homesick or tired or, you know, I mean, that's our eventual goal. Right now, I need everybody listening and everybody watching to, you know, download the app. It's free, you know, and create a profile. If you see anything in there, if you have any recommendations, just shake your phone and a little screen will pop up. You can report a bug. You could request a modification or any suggestions on the app. I mean, I need my fellow comrades' help, you know, with what we're doing here. You know, we want to make this baby, you know, we want to make this baby badass. You know what I mean? That's what I'm out there for, to help all of us small guys. You know, once this thing gets going and gets the momentum, I mean, it's available nationwide, you know, right now. So, you know, you got small little groups are going to create bigger groups and bigger groups and bigger groups. You know, you might be Rocky, you might be a guy that just has a Bobcat with a dump trailer and all you want to do is go scoop up rubble. Put your profile, book me through the app. You know, you tell that guy $3,500, I'll be there next Friday. Once that contract's made, the money's pulled and it's sitting there waiting for you. That gives the guy with the Bobcat and the dump trailer more of an incentive to get out there and knock it out and get done and get paid and move on to the next one. You know, and you get these guys with these top tier ratings, you know, they're going to be really, really, really swamped, you know. And I mean, it's just whatever you want to do. You're going to create a profile. We have a bunch of, you know, big ideas that we have coming up here at the beginning of the year. We're going to create a vendor profile for guys that are selling, you know, t-shirts, or, you know, they're offering a service like concrete pumpers or, you know, whatever. They could create a profile on there, you know. And the beautiful thing is it's free to download. You could create your profile and start advertising. And this thing, once it gets going the way it needs to be going, it's like a big giant phone book nationwide. It's the resource handbook playbook for guys like us that are out there. You know, sometimes you step out of your realm. I'm doing a huge job in Colorado Springs. It's about 2.5 hours away from me. When I get out there, I don't know all the local guys. I don't know all the pumpers. I don't know the good old boys. I don't know where to go dump all my rubble at. I don't, you know, I get hit with, oh, here comes this sucker. We're going to charge him double for everything, you know. But, you know, I want to create that, you know, so every man could help every man. You know, every man and woman could help each other and kind of lend that support out there. So, I mean, have you looked at the app at all, Rocky? Have you taken a look at it?
I have. I'm enthralled by it. I just love it. And for you guys that are just tuning in, you didn't hear or you haven't heard yet, it's a new app. It's GIGMI, GIGMI, and it's available on Apple Play Store as well as or what is the Apple? Is it Apple Store?
Yeah,
I have Android, so iOS, and it's also available.
It's available
and
both, and
it's
a free download. We ask you download it, throw a rating on there.
Let's check out a couple questions here. Travis had a pretty good one. What about disputing a bad rating? You know, because as much as we hate to admit it, there's always going to be that beef where somebody's going to try to get on and try to sabotage somebody. Is there something in place for that, or is that in the works?
Well, what we have under Travis is we no, we don't allow, like, you know, there's not going to be any comments on your pictures. I mean, if someone gives you a 2-star, I mean, there ain't much that we could do about that, you know. But if you're truly a badass, I mean, you shouldn't have that issue. But, you know, you get to rate the contractor back also, you know. So, I mean,
Yep.
Do unto others as what you want done to yourself. So, I mean, you treat you guys good, I think you're going to have a good time. And, a tough thing, a lot of questions we get, what if somebody doesn't show up, or what if they're not who they say they are as a finisher or a tradesman or whatever. And I mean, all I could really say for that is you got to use your due diligence also. It's the same as if you hired somebody that, was running an ad in the newspaper and asking you for a job. You just got to go through there. But the good thing is the rating system should help out a lot. And Travis, as far as that goes, I mean, that's going to be tough, to, dispute a bad rating. I mean, just go out there and flourish every time and do a good job, I guess.
That's a good one. He had another question. What stops the contractor from just hiring the tradesman and skipping by the app?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, I've done that for years. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying skipping the app, but you find a guy and you just pay him cash on the side, you pay him a check. But after a while, that gets old and it catches up to you. At the end of the year when you're paying your taxes and you're doing all that stuff, I mean, it doesn't really benefit the contractor. I mean, if I have 100,000 cash, I mean, I want to keep that for myself. I don't want to give it to everybody else, because I mean, I worked hard for that. So there is going to be people like that are going to try to bypass the app and hire you from the side and stuff, but I mean, there's not much we could do about that. Right now I can't really mention the name, but we have one of the what is it, Victoria? The credit people.
National Credit Bureaus.
One of the national credit bureaus is behind us on this. And what they're they're teaming up with us because they want to help non-traditional earners. Like, that's what I am. That's what all these freelancers are, create credit. Because there's a lot of seasonal guys out there, they make enough money in the summertime to live the whole year, and they want to assist in all these non-traditional earners create credit so they could buy homes, so they could buy cars, they could get credit cards and, all that good stuff, and bottom line, at the end of the day, you have all this cash. I mean, you can't really do much with it. You go into a dealership to buy a vehicle with 80 grand cash, you raise every red flag in the world. So, things are changing, and you're worth more on paper than you are, trying to hide it from, Uncle Sam or whatever you might want to call it. And, the thing is, we were talking about that earlier, like there's so many people out there that are worried about making 100 grand of income, for the year doing gigs. But, there's so many laws out there that protect you, and you don't pay taxes on $100,000. If you just bought an $80,000 truck, now you just made 20. You put some tools and stuff, I mean, there's so many loopholes, you just hear so many people, I don't want to say crying, I mean, but, complaining as to, oh, this guy don't pay taxes, he don't do this, he don't do that. But what they don't understand is as long as all of us are entitled and protected under those same laws, we could use all those, but, we don't, we just complain and keep on just taking in the rear, making subpar wages and stuff. So, I mean, that's why, we kind of created this. We want to help people out as the app develops more and we start identifying people that are tradesmen, like, damn, dude, you did 150 grand last year. Let us get you on this program that's helped you set up an LLC. It's changed your life around. We want to offer that support because nobody tells you how to run a business. Nobody tells you, hey, you got to set up an LLC. Hey, you got to do an S corp. Hey, you got to do it like this. And you can do that. Hey, don't go to the H&R Block to do your taxes. You know what I mean? Like, you need professionals. You need good people to help you, get to the next level. And there's just so many benefits out there. And I want to help everybody. I mean, I spent, the last 25, 30 years in the trenches, taking it in the rear. I made a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. But, getting to the point where I'm at now, and I want to pass that on, before it's too late, and I want to help everybody because there's nothing out there right now like this GIGMI app. If you try to go advertise yourself on the internet as a tradesman, you got to pay money. If you try to go advertise your company out there on the internet, you got to pay money. And there's just everybody wants to take advantage of you. And here at GIGMI, we want to help you. We want to help you get to that next level. We want you to help us also, by creating a profile, getting on there, interacting. If you're a guy like me, and you're already using 5 or 6 different tradesmen or even subcontractors, use the app. Pay them through the app. It's going to simplify your life. And there's a lot of good features on there. We're making a lot of videos so we can show people how to use the app and stuff. And you could have subcontractors that you're paying. If you're a contractor, you pay them as a tradesman. and just voila, it's done. And it's just a lot simpler way of doing stuff, especially if you are a subcontractor. I've done jobs where I get out there and I hump my ass to go get it done. Then the contractor's, oh yeah, we'll have a check for you in 5 days, turns into 3 months. I mean, I'm sure that's happened to a lot of you guys. And the only way to change it is, getting on a platform like this where it's beneficial. I mean, when you're good, everybody wants you. If you want me and I'm that good, you got to pay me. And this is the way I'm going to protect myself. I'm going to invoice. I'm going to do a contract through GIGMI, and I'm going to send it to you. And the second you accept it, the money's going to pull out of your account. It's going to go into the trust. You can do incremental disbursements for a deposit or whatever. But for the most part, it's to, protect both parties, and that's why we did that.
Yep. So Tony had a good question. So it's not, is there an option? Is it just day labor, or could you put an option for like, I would do work for this much for a week or something along those lines?
Oh yeah. And that's a good question, Tony. Like, so just say you needed me for 4 days. I told you $500 a day. That's $2,000. That's one event, so when you're creating the contract, you could be like October 20th through October 24th, flat rate, $2,000. And that's it, so you could do if you have guys that you're doing W-9s on, you could do that all week long, and at the end of the year, they're responsible for their part, but that's the way you could do it also. So there's all sorts of different things you could do with that. You could create an event, you could do a subcontracted job, you could do a day job, there's several different ways you could put that together.
Yep. So Mike had a good question. So when you rate somebody, is that anonymous rating, or does it leave your name with the rating?
What is that, Victoria?
Right now it's just anonymous. It'll just say, like, let's say I'm the contractor, you're the tradesman, you just rated me. It is anonymous right now.
I mean, it's kind of anonymous, like nobody's going to see it on your profile. There's stars there, but like after you're done, when I cue you and I send you a picture, here's the job, I'm done, Rocky, you're going to look at it. You're going to give me a star rating. So, I mean, I know you're giving me a rating at that point. So, I mean, that's not anonymous because you're the only person I'm doing business with at that moment. But then when I receive my money, I have the option to rate you back also. So, I mean, people aren't going to be able to see overall who rated you on your profile, but they'll be able to see how many stars, you're valued at.
But the only time somebody can give a rating is once they've had a transaction with such person. You can't just log on somebody's profile and give them a rating.
No, it has to be a full transaction. So it's not like I could just get on there and be like, oh, I'm going to give this guy a bunch of zeros. It's, after a completed contract has gone through.
I love it.
And on your profile,
for you guys just tuning in, it's the awesome new app we're talking about, GIGMI, GIGMI. Find it in your web store. It's in iOS. It's in Android Play Store. Download it. One of the best ways that this app is going to take off is to really build the roster inside this app, and that's what we're trying to do right now. So I stand fully behind what Anthony's got going here. It's an awesome thing.
We're going to be at the World of Concrete this year. We have a booth out there. We want to meet you. We want to see you. We want you to come out, and hang out and see what's going on there. What's that, Victoria?
And get a T-shirt.
I'll get a T-shirt.
Hey, yeah. I like that. I've always liked that. It's a pretty good saying. I like you always have pretty catchy sayings on your trucks too, so I like it.
It's a funny thing you say that, Rocky. I gave one of these shirts away, and the guy was over at the January 6th insurrection over at the White House, and it was on the news, and oh my gosh, my phone number was on there, and all these people were calling, we're coming for you, It was horrible, but we give out thousands of these a year, and we try to give back to our followers and our supporters and stuff. But we'd really like to see you guys out at the World of Concrete, and we want to hear from you guys. We'd really like some of you guys to download the app, create a profile. If you already have a business, if you're already using subs, if you're already using tradesmen, I mean, this is going to lighten up the load for your accountant. This is going to give you a peace of mind, and it's also going to help you as a person, if other people are able to find you and use your service, because sometimes you're there twiddling your thumbs in November because your phone hasn't ring. The 5 guys that usually call you aren't calling you, but there's somebody out there that is in desperate need of your expert service, and that's why That's why it benefits you. I mean, if you have a Facebook profile, you have an Instagram, I mean, this is just another one to add to it, except this one's going to be about money and serious business and opportunity. And, you know, we want the money you make to reflect on your dinner table, under your Christmas tree, in the home you live in, and the car you drive in. You know, we just got to stop giving our labor for nothing. You can't negotiate the price of the fuel at the fuel pump. It is what it is. You know, when a sheet of OSB was $80, it was what it was. You know, there was nothing we could do about it. And, you know, no matter what, these buildings got to get built, these slabs got to get done, this manual labor has to get done, you know, and we got to stop giving ourselves away from nothing as a collective whole. If we all come together, it's the same. You know, if you go to a mechanic shop on First Street and get a quote for a transmission, you know, it's going to be X amount of dollars. You go down the street to the other transmission shop, it's going to be within a few bucks. You know, it's not going to be thousands of dollars cheaper. It's going to be within the same, you know, and us trades guy, they're just beating us up. You know, I'll give you 14 an hour. I'll give you 12. You know what I mean? That's a big disparity, you know, between both of those. And I think us, you know, tradesmen, builders, creators, you know, we need to come together as a collective whole and kind of make it, you know, the same across the board, you know, and get what we deserve. So, you know, we got that small little window, you know, and we're giving up the best time, you know, from 8 in the morning till 5. That's the premium hours of the day. We're giving that up. I mean, we should really be compensated for that. And, you know, we're doing things that will last forever. You know, you probably do it all the time. You drive down the street, look, babe, I did that house over there, you know, and
we all do.
yeah, you know, and we all do that, you know, and I mean, it's a great thing. It's not like you're just shuffling papers in an office. And I mean, that's nothing. I mean, we're creating, you know, we're building, we're part of this giant infrastructure. And, you know, we got to change it up, and we got to make it beneficial for all of us that are a part of this, you know, because we work so hard and sometimes for too little. And as a contractor, we carry a lot on our back. We go get a commercial job, and you got to be the cheapest, you got to be the fastest, and then on top of that, you got to finance the whole damn job. You know, you get a $250,000 commercial job, you're like, oh yeah, but you know, here's the downfalls. You were the cheapest guy. Now you got to finance that 250 grand job. You know, you got to go to all your suppliers and get credit. You got to pay for all the labor and borrow money from the bank. I mean, if you went to go borrow 250 grand, they're going to charge you, you know, 50, 60,000 just to borrow that money, you know, and like here we are not charging that to the people we're getting the job from and just taking in the rear and, you know, sleepless nights. And, you know, if everything just goes perfect and nobody calls in, you know, we'll be done in December, you know, trying to get paid, you know. So, I mean, that's, you know, just some of the issues I see out there, and I just want everybody to help. And we got to change this as a collective whole.
Dave had brought up a good point, and you and I kind of touched on this previously. He said he has a lot of people that he could sign up on this. Is there an incentive to sign up others? Get people to sign up?
Yeah, and he could DM us through GIGMI. And David, like, you know, what we're doing right now, you know, we're trying to help everybody, you know, and we're going to have some affiliate marketing sales executives that we're going to be bringing on to GIGMI. It's a program that we're creating where if a guy comes on board with us as a sales executive and he sells subscriptions, you know, to other contractors that want to use the app exclusively, you know, they get to keep that customer as one of they become that customer's representative. They get a percentage of every transaction. And every time they renew the subscription, they get a percentage of that, you know, and I mean, there's no limit to how many clients one of these affiliate marketing sales executives could have, you know. And here's the big thing, you know, it's the whole U.S. There's 380 million people here, at least 1.5 million, you know, I mean, 100 million of them are in the trades, you know. So, I mean, there's all sorts of different incentives that you could get off of that, you know, especially if you're one of the sales executives that gets, just say FEMA, for instance, as a customer, as one of their clients. You know, right now they're digging out Florida. You know, they can't get enough guys out there. There's no organization to it. Everybody's just out there like, you know, trying to get something done. There's no organization. So, you know, GIGMI is going to help that, you know, and those are the incentives that, you know, we want to offer people. We don't just want to take, we want to give back,
Mhm.
and provide that platform. So there's a bunch of different ways that you could get benefits from this. And was the guy's name Greg, you said? That just asked the question?
That was David.
Yeah, David. Yeah, David.
Yep.
So, I mean, those are some of the benefits. And you could just go to our, we have a Facebook profile. You could go to mine, Anthony Harvey, or my partner, Victoria Naranjo, and you could send us a message. We'd be free to chat it up and talk with you, and go from there.
Yep. So I mean, the whole idea is just fantastic to me. It kind of mimics along the lines of, kind of like a union hall, and then there's other non-union options. There's tradesmen and ABC and some other things with the same idea. But what I really don't like with those options is, well, number one, they're mostly local to where you're at. There's not a lot of option to travel. And number two, when you sign up through like a hall or one of these businesses, you're at the discretion of the BA as to who's working and yeah, also the money. But if the BA doesn't like you or whatever option, and of course he's going to put the guys he does like. Somebody calls in and says, "Hey, I need 4 finishers." That BA is going to put his favorite guys out first, no matter where they're at on the board. We all know it happens, and this
Right.
app really takes that away. You're your own BA on this. So
Mm-hmm.
I really like that whole concept about this.
Right. And I mean, that's the great thing about it. Once you have that 5-star rating, anything's possible. And there's just a lot of badass tradesmen out there that just don't know how to market themselves, that could really be making a lot more money, that could really be doing a lot more stuff, but they just don't know how to do that. They just want to do their tinkering and get on with it, and go from there, and they settle because they don't want to deal with customers. They don't want to deal with homeowners. They don't want to deal with all the bickering and going out and doing bids and stuff, and this kind of takes a lot of it away, so it kind of helps them, because people just want to do what they want to do, so, I
Right.
mean, and then that part is we don't want none of your money. If you're getting paid $500, GIGMI does not want none of that money. You're getting your full $500. All there is the transaction fee. If it's a one-off, it's $50. If you're a subscribing contractor, it's going to be $25 every time, and at that point, if you're a wise contractor and a wise tradesman, you guys split that fee, absorb it, however you want to work it. But at the end of the day, it's super beneficial. So if you got to pay someone $500 on the books, it's probably going to cost you $150. So, I mean, so you're winning already, and the programs that we're creating this year, in the second quarter of 2023, we're going to start helping the tradesmen, invest their money. We want to help them, create a 401k. So if you do make $500, put 100 right off the bat into your 401k and start building yourself. We want to, economic empowerment. We want to help all these guys become something, and we don't want their dough. We're in business to do the transaction thing, and we're in business to help all these people as a collective whole. We want this thing to be badass and help everybody. That's what our main thing is. And there's just so much more. And I know as we onboard more of the affiliate marketing sales executives and the smart people, men and women out there, there's going to be so many more ideas. And the big thing is to empower all the people that are behind this. That's what we want to do. And I know I've been talking about this app for a year, and it's taken a while. There's a lot of bumps. There's a lot of legal stuff that we have to go through. And, especially the financial transaction part, we didn't want to have to use credit cards. We didn't want to hit people with, 3% charges to get the money and stuff, because then that $50 thing's out the window. So we're the first of the kind to, set up the transaction platform the way that we have it. It was tough. It was, it cost a lot of money, but in the end, it's really going to help a lot of people out there, especially when we make it, this year coming up, where the contractor could invoice the homeowner through GIGMI. So if you get a job through a homeowner, you send them the invoice, they accept it, the contract. At that moment, the homeowner pays the GIGMI app. So now the money's halfway in your pocket. You got GIGMI protecting you, and it's a beautiful thing, because the phones have the geolocation. It shows that you're on the job, and the tradesman gets there. It shows the contractor's there. I mean, there's so many features involved in this. I mean, I could talk all night, and a plethora of ways that this could be used also,
Absolutely.
it's endless. I'm shining the light like this now at you guys. This is what we got. and like there's gonna be 100 lights shining back at me this way. This is how it could be used, you know. So I mean, it's great, you know, and you know, anybody with the pickup truck now becomes a delivery person, you know. If you have a trailer and a truck, you just want to go haul some 2x4s, put your profile on there, you know, and get some sod and deliver it, you know, paint, you know, you want to move a car for some. I mean, there's just so many ways that allows the young or old entrepreneur out there to get out there and find some more gigs. You know, Henry Ford gave us the 8-hour work day, the 40-hour work week. I'm giving you the gig, you know.
I love it. I love it. And one thing that you've already touched on, but I just want to circle back to it because I think it's a really awesome thing. Another awesome thing about this whole idea is there's so many people out there in the trades and just in general that like to earn money on their own time, their own schedule, their own way, and make their own schedule. But with that comes the downfall of, okay, now I have no real proof of the money I'm making. And you already touched on this, but when it comes to buying a house or a car or whatever, I have no proof of what I've done, you know, because I've been paid cash on all these different jobs because I want to make my own schedule. So in order to combat that, I would have to go to, you know, an everyday job, the same place, doing the same thing over and over and get the same paycheck. But this really eliminates that. You can, like you said, the non-traditional earner, and this gives you proof of your earnings.
Right. Yeah. And that's the good thing, you know, and, you know, there's a dashboard on the app where you can look at, you can see your earnings year to date. You know, you could print that out if you really needed to. At the end of the year, you get your 1099 right to your dashboard. And, you know, that's the big thing. You know, people don't have that proof of income. You can't do nothing. You could have $100,000 and walk into the bank and say, I need to borrow 50 grand more to buy a house. You have no history of credit. You ain't nothing on paper. They're not going to lend you the money, you know, and we want to change that around, and that's why we're working with the credit reporting agency to get behind us so we can start helping these people create some stuff for themselves. You know, we really, that's one of our big goals. I mean, myself as a business owner that does, you know, millions of dollars a year in business, I mean, sometimes it's hard for me to get financing or do something, and I mean, and it's very easy just to become discouraged and walk away. You know, you could go borrow $200,000 to go to school, but you can't borrow $20,000 to open a business. You know,
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense. You know, in like right now, the times that we're living in is the biggest transfer of wealth in world history. I mean, where are you going to be at? Sitting at home and being like, oh yeah, or are you going to do something about it? You don't want to hear your grandkids saying, well, where were you, Grandpa? You know, when all this was happening. You know, I stayed working for the man getting taken advantage of, you know?
Exactly. And another thing that, again, you've already touched on it, but I want to circle back to it because for me, it's another big thing is, again, with all of us non-traditional earners, is the option for a 401k just isn't there. And with GIGMI, that option's there.
Yeah, and that's what we're planning on this year. We want to help tradesmen create a 401k. We want to, you know, put that all within the app, you know, and give you the power to do that. I mean, if you make $1,000 in one day on a gig, what's the big deal of just throwing $100 into your 401k every day? I mean, how beautiful would that be?
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, you got to have some sort of income. So when you turn 65 or 62, whenever you decide to start collecting Social Security, I mean, it's only a couple grand or whatever it might not be, but I mean, that pays all the bills you don't want to pay, your light, your gas, your water, your cell phone. I mean, you need that, you know, you don't need it until you know you need it, you know, and I mean, it's tough, and there's a lot of people that are going through that, and I mean, it's really not fun, you know, when you have to take care of someone that has no money or whatever, you know what I mean? That's why we have our kids for it, but you know, you don't want to put that burden on anybody, you know, especially now, if you can really get your worth and value, it's really not much to pay. You know, it's all debt anyways. You know, the money you receive is somebody else's debt, and that's going to debt anyways. So, you know, so you just got to, you know, look at it that way, I guess.
Yep, for sure. For sure. Well, man, I think what you got going is a great thing. Again, GIGMI, GIGMI. You can download it in the App Store, iOS App Store. Check it out. Create a profile, whether you're a contractor, whether you're a worker, whether you're anything. Like you said, any trades anything that you could make money trying to do. Raking leaves, I guess, would be mowing yards, cleaning pools, you name it,
Right,
right? It's endless.
right. You know, you can even put that you're an app developer on the app. You can put that, you know,
Yep.
yeah, you know, it doesn't hurt anybody. You know, start using it, and it's a great way to get paid. It's a great way to conduct business. It's a great way to network.
Tony, I'm not even going to say what he commented. Actually, I'm going
What,
to.
what,
I imagine it. I don't know. That might get into some legal territory. That might turn into prostitution, Tony. I don't think we can
oh
get
my
into that.
God.
We don't want to take
You got to know that was going to come up.
Yeah, you know, and you could do it. I mean, if that's what you want to do, and someone wants to hire you, it's on there. You know what I mean? But
I
you know,
love
to
it.
each their own. To each their own.
Of course.
I love it. We're here to help you. Please, if you guys have 5 minutes, download the app. If you have any issues, shake your phone, report a bug, you know, whatever. You know, we need your help. I'm asking you for your help. It'll take you 10 minutes to create a profile, start using it. We have a bunch of fun features that are coming up on this thing. It's going to be cool as heck. You know, it's a new thing from one tradesman to another, from one contractor to another. Help us, help you, help yourself. That's all we want to
Absolutely.
do.
I love
Not.
it. Guys, if you have any questions, don't be afraid to reach out to Anthony. I'm sure he can answer them. In the comments, here's Victoria. She can answer any questions. I'm sure she said message her. If you have any questions, reach out. But number one, download the app and then go from there.
Yeah, you go from there. Send us a message. Send us whatever. You know, who knows? I might need a finisher or something.
Yeah, that's right. And
But
be sure to check out Anthony. He'll be at World of Concrete this year. Check out the GIGMI booth. So,
yep. You gonna be out there, Rocky? You gonna come out?
I'm all right. It's up in the air right now. I'm trying. Chris, I know you're in here. Send us to the World of Concrete, man.
There you
We
go.
need to
There you
go
go.
see Anthony. Yep.
Yeah, it's
So
almost better to rent an Airbnb out there, you know. But it is what it is.
that's right, for sure. But anything else you want to throw in there before we sign off, my friend?
get paid.
Right.
How does,
Oh,
how does
so
a tradesman
you know, so like a tradesman, you know, I just want to explain this. Like, you know, when a tradesman gets played, you know, they could opt for immediate payment. You know, it's all ACH. So I mean, it's a beautiful thing. You know, and you know, if you want your money instantly, there is a 1.9% charge for that. But for it's
Okay.
free. But if you want your money right then and there, you know, you could opt for that selection right there. But that's the only thing that
Yep.
we do charge for, because they charge us for that. You know, we're not making anything off of that. I just wanted to put that out there. But for
Of
the
course.
most part, it's a direct payment right to your account through ACH. So, you know, sometimes it might be the same day or the next day or the following day, just depending on how your bank processes their payments and stuff. So, but if you do want immediate payment, it is a 1.9% charge. You know, it's
That's
a dollar on there.
understandable.
It's like 98 cents on every $100. So I mean, it's not much, but
Right.
right on. Well, if that
Cool,
concludes
man.
it, I would like to come back again. And
For sure. Guys, go download the app, GIGMI, GIGMI, and we'll have Anthony back on real soon. We'll touch base and see how things are moving along, what new developments he's got, some new ideas he's coming up with, and I'm sure this is a beast that's just going to snowball.
yep, we want to hear from you. Give us a call. Download
That's
the app.
right. Awesome, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Rocky France, CESYK Live with Anthony Harvey. It's been good. See you on the next one.
Thank you guys. You all have a good night.